Can't you see me? I'm on the move. I don't care what they say, I am a winner. Everywhere I go, I keep shining, shining. My God, and bless me, He go bless you.
Alright, this is KMTV, Liberia, the USA broadcast. We coming to you live from the state of Minnesota here on the Midwest. And Minnesota is one of Liberia's highly populated city in the US here. My name is Cyrus McGee. I'd like to welcome you to this special interview. And today we are here at the offices of the Association of Liberians in Minnesota, the OLM. And as a matter of fact, this weekend, just in under few days, the Liberian community will be going to elections to elect new members to the board of directors of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota. And to give us highlight about this, I hope in the upcoming July 26 playing activities, as well as other happenings here in the Liberian community here in Minnesota, is no other but the executive director of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota, Mrs. Georgette Gray. Madam Executive Director, welcome. I caught you this time unaware, pulling you away from your people.
I know.
But it's always a pleasure being in your company. Welcome to KMTV.
Thank you.
And how has it been since the last fight? It was a DD we were here with you.
Yes.
This time around is the elections coming up. We have the Independence Day celebration coming up. And I know other activities being taking place around here. Can you give us a highlight since the last time we were here? What's so far obtaining?
I want to say thank you to you first for taking the time to do this, and to the KMTV family for making this opportunity for us to be able to reach our people. As you rightly stated, the organization is doing well. We have come a long way, and we are continuing to improve the organization daily, and that is evidence in the fact that we're having elections this weekend on Sunday, the 19th of May, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. here at the community center, and we have 6 seats on the board that are open for either re-election or for new voices on the board. And we have 13 candidates. So that is like interesting. This has been, it's like the whole process is reminding me of OLM years ago when we go through elections and have the interest of the community. So that's, we're expecting a lot of turnout this weekend to this process.
Now you said 6 seats. There are just 6 seats on the board, or you have more?
There are 9 board members elected. In the structure of how the organization is set up is that it's a trickle-down process where when we are electing new board members, we always have a few left on to continue. So there are 9 elected seats on the board, and out of the 9, 3 of them are currently serving. They have not, their time has not expired yet. They're still board members. So those 3 will remain in their seats as we go through to elect the other 6 new board members.
What is it like going through such a process? Or firstly, how many years are members to serve on the board of OLM?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
And these 6 seats, they are all elapsed. They are 3 years.
Yes.
And you need replacement.
Yes.
I know it's a tedious task.
It is.
What is it like?
It's challenging as the executive director, and considering the organization, how large it is and where we have come from, getting the community to be interested in our elections that's taking place it's been a challenging task. But the process involves appointing an independent election commission in Mr. Kmtv-Usabriadcast to head this process. And he has selected members in the community to serve on the commission to help us through this process. So that's like going through that, opening the positions out to the community, setting up a timeline for them to apply, closing the election process, going through debates and conversations. And right now it's campaign season, and I think everybody can see the parade of people on the internet and in the community. reaching out to Liberians to come out and vote.
And as compared to other years, I must admit that being in Minnesota for a couple of years now, as compared to other years, we see the spirit of campaigning this time around. Tell us, why did it take you to get the Liberian community now interested into what you are doing?
Well, when we took over the organization, a lot of stuff was going down. People was disengaged with the community. For the last 2 years, we have been able to open the offices, make some improvements, create some programs in the community that have captured the attention of people in the community. So I guess people are now seeing the prospects in this organization and what it can become for the Liberian people. So more people are in the community stepping up and saying, you know what, we have been sitting down on the side and watching. Now it's time for us to step up and volunteer our time and serve the community so we can move the community to where we want it to be.
And with this, I know there are you said 13 candidates up for 6 seats. I mean 6 seats. How did it take you to get these people to come on board in making sure that they can serve their community?
It took a lot of announcements, a lot of talking to people, and I think most of the candidates that have stepped up to contest for these positions are people who have, one way or the other, walked into these offices over the last 2 years. They've come through, some of them to volunteer, some of them have come through donating, and some of them we have appealed to them just to say, this is our community, we need to get involved. We cannot all just sit on the side and expect the organization to be what we want it to be when we don't contribute our time, our finances and stuff to make it happen. Every good organization or anything that is being built requires time. And we have been able to try to convince the community that OLM is our organization and it's about time that we step up to get good voices on the board and make it happen.
You've served on the current board as executive director. You run the day-to-day activities of the organization in connection with the board, I believe. So in total, what would you say about the current leadership of the OLM? What are some of those things you can point out as achievements on which you think this board did their best in making sure the Liberian community is out there and heard?
I can tell you this much, Cyrus, that when I started here with them 2 years ago, a lot of things weren't in place. And one of the things that helps a nonprofit organization like ours, especially when their staff is not paid to do its job, and you have someone willing to come and say, I want to serve, cooperation and having a leader in place that will allow you to do what you're supposed to do. OLM Constitution clearly says that the executive director runs the day-to-day affairs of the organization. And under the chairmanship that we have right now, the board has been able to allow us to do what we're doing in the community. We've had some challenges. It hasn't been all smooth, but at least we were able to come and open these doors when we're supposed to close it and do the programs. And we get some support from some of the board members, some of the ones that are there right now. We have gotten a lot of support. And as I said, they say the fish get rotten from the head. This is campaign season. This is not something that I would love to say, but I must give Ibrahim Bai I would tell him thank you for being the leader that he was. And I said this not lightly because it wasn't easy, but many times when you call him, he was there, he understood, and he helped. He helped in that process. And the co-chairman as well, Arthur Beer, he's been very supportive. So having that level of support helped us and our own determination to turn this community around, help us get where we are today.
You think the community is satisfied with your level of work?
I have gotten a lot of people say thank you for the work that we're doing. I don't think everybody is. I am thinking the expectations are high, and I too set very high expectation for myself. I'm the kind of person that when I walk into the room and there's a dirty plate on the table and I hit seeing that plate, I will get it up myself and I will wash it. I will clean it up. Coming into OLM, I knew it was dirty, it was messy, it was a difficult thing. It's hard to serve our people.
What did you do to clean the mess?
We had to start by physically cleaning the office, opening the doors first of all, and throwing a lot of old stuff away. Talking to the chairman of the board and OLM board leadership. In a lot of ways, they also needed someone who understood, had some experience or working with nonprofit organizations, someone who were generally passionate. And I was able to help build that team. You don't do anything by yourself. It's important. I had an assistant. I brought Mr. Paul Wilson on to help. He's been a very strong supportive arm. Mr. Tonka Vonle has also been very, very supportive. Actually, I say he lives in this office because he's here early in the morning and late in the evening. And then we were able to kind of rally the community. It was challenging just because you pick up the phone and you call people to come and just help volunteer for programs and events, and everybody was like, don't call me for OLM business. Somebody in OLM has done this, and this person has done that. This one has insulted me. And it has taken us a lot of time to build that confidence. Calling people, spending hours and hours trying to convince them that the experience we had before gave me a chance, give our leadership a chance. Let me prove you wrong. Let me let you know that, yeah, all of what you're saying about OLM happened in the past, but the people that did those things, they are not, majority of them they're not in the organization today. So even if we have one or two of them still hanging around, the majority of them are not. It's me, Georgette, calling you. And I had to reach out for family and friends and people who knew of our work. They have come around. So it's like when I know you, I call you in and you come in and get a feel and taste of the new OLM, what we're looking at, what we're doing. You see the doors open, the lights are on. You see there's not a fight in the community. We're not running around fighting a lot in the community. And those things kind of draw people. So you go out and you tell others about your experience, and you, by that, other people are going to walk through
There are
those
people
doors.
who feel that there are still rifts in the community, and I don't know whether you want to agree with that. If you are to, what are you doing? Isn't there a need for probably a reconciliation conference or something that will bring all heads together finally?
We, from the background, OLM has been having some series of meetings. The board of directors, the chairman instituted a process where we've been meeting with separate bodies to talk about some of the things that kept them away from the organization, or some of the things that they experienced, some of their hurts. And they've talked about those things. The next step is to bring all of them together. There are groups, people in groups in the community who say, I'm not going to sit at a table with one person. This is America. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. So all we can do as an organization, I want people to know that from a leadership standpoint, we see the challenges. We experience those challenges ourselves, not because we're not taking to the internet and waving flags on the street of walking around the street. That doesn't mean we're not working on it. There's a lot of underground, behind the scenes work taking place, calling, trying to build relationships and mend some of those broken bridges that we've experienced. So that's taking some time. And maybe at the end of the day, as I said, maybe at the end of the day, we will have some sort of reconciliation, something. But that reconciliation is taking place behind the scenes. We are working on it.
Now, onto the elections. People will say that Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center is not just Minnesota. You have several cities across the length and breadth of the Twin Cities. How is it like? What are you doing to reach out to those in those communities that probably might not be just in the Brooklyn Park area, or that may not be getting your messages and activities across India communities?
Over the years, what we have done in OLM, and that's something that we have encouraged people to do, we have to be very realistic when we're doing our thinking about how OLM can reach out. What is the most easy way these days to reach a lot more people? Through social media, right? We have Facebook pages, we do text messaging, we do announcements. If you came into OLM and you register with us, we have a robocall system. We enter your number into this system. We send out text messages to people. We reach out to the churches. The election commissioner have been going from church to church, getting the announcement. We rely on the pastors of these different congregations because they bring people together to help us reach as many people as possible. Now, this election is very interesting because we have two candidates from the St. Paul area. The largest group out of the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, and Minneapolis areas now is the next large group of Liberians are in the St. Paul area. And we have two candidates coming from that area alone. I'm hoping that those candidates coming from that St. Paul area, the people from St. Paul will get out and come to the polls and come and register with OLM and vote and be a part of the process. So we as an organization, we are doing our best. We are doing our best with the limited resources we have. We rely on people, and whenever I send a text message, I ask everybody, please share that message. The people you know, the people you interact with, OLM may not have that information. If that person didn't walk through OLM doors and sign up with us, fill up a registration form, there is no way we're gonna have the numbers to be able to contact them. It's like you go and you help me, I help you. That is the situation. That's what we're trying to do. So we are appealing to Liberians, help us reach people. You go to some groups, some of the county organizations, all of the county organizations have people in different puddles that support their counties, and they are all parts of these groups. We go on social media, we publish the information in group chats, in group discussion. The OLM, the Minnesota, Liberians in Minnesota has, I think, about almost 3,000 people. The Boilers Room is one of them. The KMTV do this advertisement. You got almost 20,000 people that watch these programs. We have several OLM pages that was established by previous leaderships that's out there. We post information. You're talking about thousands of people on those media sites. So if these thousands of people will get that information, we expect you to help us share it. That's our way of reaching people.
Now on to the elections. Tell us, who are those that you qualify as voters?
Okay. OLM Constitution says it's like every Liberian in Minnesota. You consider yourself Liberian, you're supposed to be a part of OLM. That's the organization. It's for Liberians. You can be a Liberian American or Liberian, whatever you are. You consider yourself a Liberian, you're a Liberian, we accept you as a Liberian. To register to vote, you have to come to OLM. OLM is a due-paying organization. The organization structure is that once you're a registered member, you are supposed to be paying dues $10 a month, monthly. Your annual dues for OLM is $120, for God's sake, to help support the organization. So who are those that are voters? Voters are our registered due-paying members. So I see a lot of people asking questions about, I'm not registered, but I'm a Liberian and I want to be a part of this election process. Fine. Our websites are there. We've been publishing the information. Go onto the website. There's a membership form. Fill up the membership form. When you fill up that form, I will get a copy of it and we will record your name as a registered member. Now you need to pay your dues. You can also pay your dues right on the website. It's olmn.org. It's easy. You go there, you click on the links for membership, and you will be able to pay your dues on time, online. So once you're a due paying member, you're eligible to vote. Nobody is paying to vote. OLM does not charge a fee to vote. OLM says, like any other registered organization, other organizations, if you have vested interest in it, that means you came, you say you want to be a part of it, and you register, you pay your dues, you have the right to vote.
Now, I don't know whether you have the listing of candidates. Probably somebody watching this interview. We want to know whether you have the listing of candidates. You like to run through them so that people get to know who are those registered right now with the Elections Commission, certified to contest in the elections. You said 13 candidates out of the 13, six gonna be elected
Yep.
to fill six vacancies on the board of OLM, and I know it was hectic in making sure that people are validated and given the green light to contest. And I see several candidates out there making sure that they can campaign, talk to people, and bringing attention and more zeal out. So it will be good if you can just run through, if you can, the list of candidates for this election.
Sure. I'll try printing one for you to display it, but I can read you the
Yeah,
names.
you can just.
Okay. So, Mr. Ibrahim Bar is the current chairman of the board, and he's running for re-election on the board. And this is his second term. He's trying to run for the second term on the board. Edwina Tay is a Liberian lady living here. Edwina Willie. She's running as well for a seat on the board. We have Ibrahim Toure, who is also running. We have Catherine Kentum, who is a Liberian here. Mohammed Dukli is also running to secure his seat. He's a current board member. He's running for re-elections. Minerva Grant has been in the community for a long time as well, has served on several occasions as chairman of the election commission. She is running as a board member. We have Clarence Tuer. He's one of the candidates from the St. Paul area who is also contesting. He's a businessman contesting. Katumu King is also a candidate, and she's also from the St. Paul area. Erasmus Williams is currently serving on the board, and he's running for re-elections. Princess Yamfa is a young lady also in the community, has volunteered many times for the organization. She's running as well. Mr. Burley Holder, or Pastor Burley Holder, is also running as a candidate. Adriana Gould is a young lady in the community as well, running for a seat. And Mr. Cesar Guerra, who is also a current board member and running for re-election. So we have 4 board members running for re-elections on the 13 seats amongst the 13 candidates that seeking re-election.
And we also see the females are also
Yes.
challenging. So I think this is a very, very great one. I must commend the OLM for encouraging female inclusion on the board.
We have 6 women in this race. That's awesome.
And 6 women out of the 13.
Mm-hmm.
And
we need 6 seats.
You see that? now you go. But with all of this, you can just give us the highlights of how the campaign activity is going to be going on, when it's going to be voting, when will voting start, that is, and when do we expect voting to close and the announcement for the winners of the polls.
Sure. I'm expecting a very long day on Sunday, but so after the candidates register, the community have an opportunity to interview or observe them, come and meet some of them, because there are a lot of people who have not met everybody. So on Friday at 7 p.m. This coming Friday, the 17th, May 17th, at 7 p.m. we will be at the Brooklyn Center Community Center. That's off of Shingle Creek Parkway. We will be there will be what we call a debate with the candidates. There are 13 of them, and they will be there. So if you are out in the community, have not seen the candidates or met them, it is your opportunity to meet the candidates. On Sunday morning, I will be here by 5:30 a.m. in the morning because we got to get set up. But the election starts at 7 a.m. And I must commend Mr. Kmtv and his team. They are doing a fabulous job. He's on top of his game. They have everything set up. By 7 a.m., election starts. So people who are going to church, they have the opportunity to come in early and vote. With 13 candidates, we're expecting over 1,000 people to come through these lines from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's going to be like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right after the elections, they will gather the ballots together right in the hall. each of the candidates will have an observer in the room, and the community has its own different observers that the election commissioners have contacted, and they will go through the counting of the ballots. The candidates, the winners, will be announced that very night. So, as I said, if the election is closing at 7 p.m. and at 7 p.m. right after that, they're going into the counting of the ballots. Now, if you have already paid your dues, we're going to have a fast track link. There's going to be a complete different process for the voting process here this year. Because of the space we have, we do not want a lot of crowding, a lot of noise, and a lot of arguments going on in the election halls. So we're gonna have tents set up outside. If you have already registered with OLM and have paid your dues, you will spend less than a few minutes on the line, because all you're coming to do, check off your name, receive your clearance from OLM. OLM financial team will be set up. If you have already paid your dues, you're just going to get your clearance. You're going to go to the election commissioners, hand your ticket that you're cleared. They will receive your ticket from you. And when they receive that ticket, they will hand you a ballot. And you're going straight into the room to go and vote. When you finish voting, you leave your ballot, you walk out of the hall, come back in the yard, and spend the rest of the day in the yard. We will be out in the yard. We're going to have food sale going on. We're going to have a barbecue going on. We want to make it a complete different experience for our community.
So in short, you're saying that people who probably might just be knowing about this through watching this interview, wanting to vote, they are Liberians. They can walk here, register, update their membership, and vote on that day.
Yes. You can walk in if you are not registered with OLM and you're a Liberian. You can come here. You will have a table. You're going to have a form to fill out. That's why we're encouraging people to log in online, fill up the form, because those are the things that makes the lines long and delay you. If you're going to come here in a hurry, you will have to fill up that form. You have to bring with you an ID card that shows your current address. If you move from other states and you have a different address, you have to show us something that identifies you as a resident of Minnesota. Because you have to be a Liberian living in the state of Minnesota to vote, to be a part of OLM. That's the process.
Okay, the last time I checked, after your last elections, there were hurdles, there were disagreements, there were different things flying off in the air. What can you say to the Liberian community that this time around is going to be free, fair, transparent, and something that they can look up to getting?
When you carry an election live online, especially when the process of counting the votes are carried live online, that everybody can see, and somebody sits back and say there was cheating, that's so unreasonable to even think. The last election that was held here, they had it broadcast. They had it recorded. It was.
There will always be people thinking different.
So people will always talk, and I don't care what we do. It can be the most perfect system that we institute. We expect people to talk. That's why we're leaders, and we expect that to happen. But we're doing our best to make sure the process is free, is transparent. We are appealing to the Liberian community. Every organization has rules and regulations. Every organization have constitutions and documents that make that they were formed by. OLM has a constitution that allows us to do this process, the voting process. The Constitution determines the amount of registration that you need to pay, your monthly dues is all spelled out in there. We want to be we want to be Liberians, and we need to learn to respect our own systems that we put in place. So we will follow the book. We'll do our best to make sure the process is clear, is free. Again, if people want to register, they can go online to olmn.org, fill out the registration form. That will have your registration form, pay your dues, get on the fast track lane that you've registered. You don't have to come and stay here, because I heard people saying, oh, you got to pay to vote. Nobody pays to vote. Like any organization, you have to be a registered member to participate and make a decision. This is a crucial decision. And for anyone out there to think that OLM is supposed to just have an election, do not contribute anything, but walk in there and make a decision on the board of directors, it's absurd for us to even think that.
Finally, as we wrap it up with you, let's look at the July 26th. Probably you can just touch on that briefly. What are those plans?
Awesome. Thank you. That's my baby coming up. July 26th is a big time in our community, and we want to just encourage all Liberians to be a part of it. For the first time in the history of OLM, we're going to have a raffle draw. The plans are on the way. We're going to have a 4 or 5 place event on July 20th. It's the 20th or 22nd. This is Saturday, the 20th of July. We're having health fair here at the community center. We're going to be doing free breast cancer screening, but people need to pre-sign up for the hospitals to bring their van here to do breast cancer screening. Testing, the Liberian Nurses Association, they're working along with us to make that happen. But there's a health fair on the 20th. On the 24th, we have our Seniors Day. The old folks are going to have a dinner special for them. And we do that simply because most of them will not be able to go out to the ball on July 26th. On Thursday, so we're going to be very tired. Thursday, July 25th, we have our usual county day. We are calling on all county heads, county organizations. This is our cultural display. Every county is asked to have a table and display cultural artifacts from their counties. On that table, the food and whatever each county raise is for the county. So OLM is reaching out to the community. Friday, July 26th is our Independence Ball. It's scheduled. We will be having it at the Marriott, and we having it there because the momentum we have in our community. We expect over 600 people, and for now, today, that is the only space we can find that can accommodate that large number and give us an excellent experience for our independence. That's why we're going there. So it will be at the Marriott. On Saturday is our sports day. We have the county. We're going to have IE and Borough games taking place. We're also going to have country. We have several countries we have contacted like we did last year. African countries to participate in the country meet that's taking place on that Saturday. And that Saturday is going to be the raffle draw day. But raffle tickets are available now. The car, if you dare me, the Mercedes will be here on Sunday on display for people to see it. We're not joking. This is the first time we're making history in OLM, and we want everybody in Minnesota and around the world to be a part of it. Now, people have been asking, you can buy tickets from anywhere, I would say, wherever. I know people in Liberia watching. I got calls from Liberia. How can we buy tickets? Tickets will be purchased in US dollars. You can purchase your tickets online. It will be on the OLM website. Currently, we have physical tickets. Guess what? It's only $20 for a ticket to participate. So some lucky person can win it. Also, we want people to know that the Mercedes company have agreed that they can buy back the car. So for example, if you want the car and you're in Liberia or other part of the world, they will buy the car back and you could walk away with an easy $25,000 to $30,000 cash. They will give it to you. So we want to encourage Liberians to and we will hand that key out to somebody on Saturday, July 27th at the soccer games. But to wrap it up, I want to say people should show up this weekend, participate in elections. OLM has struggled over the years. And we have struggled simply because our community continued to make decisions that we come to the polls in numbers, thousands of us, and we vote for candidates. We come and we pay the registration fee, one time $10, and we walk away. And we walk away and don't come back to the organization events or functions. Organization to run. How does that work? You come and you pay money, you put somebody in positions, and you never come back to support the organization. So we are asking Liberians make sound decisions. The people you elect, don't complain tomorrow. If you cast your vote for somebody and the person is not doing a good job, that is, the fault is on y'all, it's not on OLM. OLM is just a name. OLM is every Liberian, everyone who comes and casts a vote. The function and life of this organization is in your hands.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gray.
Thank you.
She's Mrs. Georgette Gray. She's the executive director of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota. The organization goes to election this weekend, sorry. And 6 board members will be elected on Sunday. And 13 candidates are already in the race for the 6 seats. And she listed them, so if you can watch this later on when we play back probably, you will get to know. But it's been a wonderful time. And she also stated that plans are on the way for the Independence Day celebration this year. You have to make your way on Sunday at the OLM office, register if not register, and make sure you can be a part of the process in electing the next leaders for this great organization. My name is Cyrus McGee, KMTV. We are everywhere. That's why we are #1. Keep watching www.kmtv-liberia.com. Goodbye and have yourself a wonderful time.
This is Juliet live, no shaking.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Tanana, tanana, yeah, in my body. Tanana, tanana, yeah, in my body. Turn it up, yeah, in my body. Turn it up, don't stop, in my body. Every time that you see me, I'm on the move. I don't care what they say, I am a winner. Everywhere I go, I keep shining, shining. My God, and bless me, He go bless you too.